On this week's episode, we're talking about Firewatch.
You know, it's not the heat, it's the humidity. Got it.
It's 88 degrees here in Sweden.
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Which, Fahrenheit. Yeah, Celsius would be Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's pretty. There's no AC in this house, so.
Oh, that's so good. Do you have fans?
Yeah, well, what I did is I just shut everything, closed all the blinds, shut all the windows early this morning, and I'm kind of just trying to, keep all the cold air in.
Yeah. Do you, place ice cubes around the house just to, cool down a little bit?
No, I haven't tried that yet. It's actually been doing a decent job. It's only actually, 80 inside. It's maybe 70, 78, something like that, as opposed to the 86 it is outside. So it's okay. It's a little warm. I got a little sweaty when I was making my sandwich for lunch, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry, buddy. At least you're not in Virginia.
Yeah, fuck that.
Let me go. I'm just going to look it up. Because it's been hot. We weren't in the hundreds, but we were in the mid 90s with the heat index making it feel like. I'm like, no, if they say feels like, just say that's what it is. You know. Oh, it's 98 degrees, but it feels like 105. Then it's 105. How does it feel like it's hotter than it is? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that feels like thing actually means.
I think it's just some old guy at the whatever place going, it's not the heat, it's the humidity, guys.
There's just some guy in a rocking chair at the Oceanic Department's headquarters or whatever, and just the thermometer says it's 98 degrees, old Phil. Then old Phil's like, nah, feels like 105.
Yeah, it's been hot, and we got the night heat too, so it's just
Ugh. At least you have night.
Are you in a cycle
sun
of
goes
full
down
day
at
right now?
Sun goes down at 11:15. It comes up at 1:15.
Oh wow!
So there's just no nighttime.
Oh yeah, summer solstice has happened.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's good if you're trying not to get eaten by vampires. So.
That's true. That's true. Except for the winter, in which case this place is amazing for vampires. I wonder if there's a great vampire migration in the spring and fall. They all move to
Alaska.
I don't know. Alaska. No, what's the opposite of?
Oh.
South,
Antarctica.
South, Tasmania, I guess. I don't know.
Does Tasmania do the night thing?
No, but they're on the other side of the planet, so they'll have the opposite effect. So their winter will be our summer, right? So.
Wait, are they constantly moving? This sounds tiring. They're just
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's I don't know. There's birds that migrate. Why don't vampires? I would.
Yeah. Maybe they don't like the cold. I feel like if you can't go out in the sun ever, the cold has got to suck.
That's true. That's true. But they live in crypts. I feel like crypts aren't usually warm.
Yeah, maybe they like it. I'm not looking up vampire lore right now. I'm not doing that. It's too much.
WikiHow, how to be a vampire.
Stop
licking me.
Sorry.
This dog, he's a very smart, good dog. I like him a lot. Stop licking. But his only way, the way he always wants to get attention is to just start licking me, and it works because I hate it. But I wish he would stop.
Yeah, I don't like it when dogs, especially the knees. It's my least favorite part to get looked at. I don't know why.
The knees.
Yeah, it just feels weird. It's
interesting.
Because they gotta look good, pull and drag on there, Just a big surface area, just
Interesting. It's the extra skin on your knee just kind of moves with their tongue.
Well, no, it's never. I'll be dead before anyone sees me in shorts, for the most part.
Yeah, me too.
But it's like on jeans, so it's like even weirder. It's just like,
I wonder why that is. I feel like that's not an insignificant number of millennials that have. Like, I feel like with millennials, speaking as a millennial, half of us only wear shorts, and the other half never wear shorts. Like, there's no shorts agnostic people.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the punk movement. The punk and ska kids. They really were like, yeah, let's wear some jean shorts. And I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah. No. You have to get like the Dickies work pants and then like cut those off and hem them real good.
I bet there's some real good Jinko shorts out there.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of pockets.
Yeah.
Is Jinko still around?
I think they have to be back right now, especially with baggy pants being as hip as they are. I feel like they have to be back. We have to have talked about this before. This feels very familiar. Haven't we talked about like Jinko coming back? I don't know.
I honestly
feels familiar.
Yes, we have. Oh my god.
What?
Speaking of terrible fashion, the guy from Crazy Town died.
Oh no! Wait, the guy who Crazy, like they're like the butterfly song people, right? I'm surprised he doesn't die already. Didn't he have like several like drug-related arrests?
I'm aware of that one song. Honestly, I'm aware of it because it was in that movie.
What movie?
With Jack Black and Tom Hanks' kid.
Yep. Orange County. Yeah. Right. It's right at the beginning, right, with the cheerleaders. Man, why do I remember that fucking movie?
Because it was a good movie. I think Jack Black wasn't quite out yet. He's just starting.
That's true. I mean, I remember liking it. I don't know if I'd like it now. I mean, I was 13 when I liked it.
Yeah,
so
probably. I mean,
obviously,
it's probably not as like profound to an adult. It's like
no.
Because I was like 12, 13 when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's what I grow up.
Yeah, I can't wait to go to UC Berkeley and become a lit major. It's gonna be amazing.
Hell yeah. Well, I just wanted to be the Jack Black guy.
The Jack Black, the useless brother. Yeah, I guess that's about where I'm at.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
Speaking of bad life decisions.
Oh, yeah?
The primary character of this game maybe made some bad life decisions. Welcome to the Save States, a podcast where we talk about video games. This week we're talking about Firewatch.
Firestarter?
No, that would be a different game.
Oh.
I will say out front, there will be spoilers.
Yeah, this is a hard one to talk about without.
Yeah, so like if you don't want spoilers for Firewatch, I mean, there's a very good chance that this will be a short conversation, so we'll see. So yeah, first I want to say I erroneously stated that Firewatch was made by the same people who made Gone Home and Tacoma on previous episode. Those are not the same companies. I don't know why I thought they were the same company. As far as I'm aware, Firewatch was made by Campo Santo, which as a company got bought by Valve and haven't made a game since.
Ooh.
And this was their first game. So yeah, not many companies get bought by Valve. That's not a thing Valve frequently does, which is interesting. But
bad life choices.
I've had this on my radar to play for a long time, and obviously it's been much hyped in the years.
Been around for a while.
8 years.
Yeah, for some reason it did not seem, because when it came out, I feel like it kind of got shoved down everyone's throats. If you were like online watching video game stuff, I definitely avoided it at the time. Also didn't have anything that could run it. Still don't. I struggled to run this game on the lowest settings.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Which I don't. Yeah. I guess there is no loading screens, so maybe that's why.
That's true. I mean, it does like that kind of thing sometimes where you have to like climb up a thing or pass through a bush where they like to hide little
you think they were doing
sequences in. I think so, probably.
I mean, that would make sense. What's the old Jack and Dexter trick?
So the plot of Firewatch is that you are a middle-aged man who has left his life in the city to be a fire lookout, and over the course of the game, you have a conversation with like the boss lookout over walkie-talkie.
Delilah.
And most of the game, most of the game is walking around and talking to Delilah over walkie-talkie. Did you think that the name Delilah was like a reference to that radio lady, Delilah?
Love Lines?
I forgot what the name of her name was. No, It wasn't Love Lines. It was like Love Lines for girls, kind of. But it was like, she was like always did like soft rock, adult contemporary music.
Oh, I know what you're talking
about. Like, people would call
and give
in
them like love advice or like.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah,
Delilah?
it was called like Delilah After Dark or something.
Yeah, was
like
that a
I
national broadcast or was that? I thought just like a local thing to
That's
us.
a good question. This might just I have to look this up.
Because I feel like all the calls were like, oh, where are you calling from? They were like, oh, Richmond. You know?
Oh no, she's national. National.
All right, good.
Actually, yeah. So I thought that was the first thing I heard when I heard the radio say Delilah. Was like she was
definitely
start.
did, yeah.
But and she kind of is your confidant throughout the
lover.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I guess it depends on the because you get to select what you say to this person as you play, which is really the only like choice.
Yeah, the only
have
agency you get in this game is your dialogue options, really.
Yeah, and I don't know to what extent they actually matter in the end. Like, I was kind of thinking throughout the game, like, oh, like, what is this going to lead to if I say this, etc., like, weighing my options. And then as I kind of progressed through the game, I kind of realized that, like, maybe those things don't actually matter at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the end of the game, I'm pretty certain that those dialogue choices don't change any of the outcomes.
Oh, yeah,
like
I
that.
feel like there is one. I feel like, I don't know, it seems too spoilery, but who you meet at the end. I'm trying to say it without spoiling anything.
Okay, well, why don't you
or
go
whether
ahead
or
and
not
just
you
say
meet
who
somebody
was-
at the end, you know? I feel like that's maybe...
Do you... I don't think is there a text option that you meet someone at the end?
Like, you do for, like, Delilah to wait for you. I feel like that is, like, no way possible. That would be, like, my only thought of, like, the one thing that could happen.
No, I mean, looking at the stuff, I don't think there's any of these. The options actually change anything.
I wonder if it's because they had such a hard time, like, developing human characters. Because all the human models that they have in this game are pretty bad. Like, you see two of them, and neither of them are well. And one of them's, like, hidden, and then the other guy's...
Yeah, but, like, when you look down, because, like, it's a first-person game exclusively, and when you look down and watch your guy, like, the main character walk, he's doing this very weird, stiff animation. Like, he's got his arms, like, pushed forward in full fists, and he's like...
Well, he's really tense. He's working through a lot, you know?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to walk, but, like, hold a pencil between his butt cheeks at the same time.
Maybe that was the problem the whole time.
It's...
Because I kept... I really was upset that... Well, not really upset that the only thing you got to do is dialogue, because fairly early on in the game, you get some fireworks. Yeah. And they just kind of hang around your lookout tower, and every day, you know, you kind of set off on your little Firewatch missions and stuff that develop into more, but you get the option to pick them up before you leave. If you go up and I was like, am I going to need these? Am I going to be in a situation where I have to... No, I just...
Same thing with, like, so early on you can, like, there's, like, one of the first incidents you have as a fire watcher. So you have to scare away these girls who are, you know, having a bonfire, playing with fireworks and drinking, which is where you get the fireworks. It's also where you can pick up a bottle of whiskey. And, like, my character, like, the character is a recovering, or maybe not a recovering alcoholic, maybe just an alcoholic. He's had some drinking problems. He got a DUI before all this happened. And, like, I pick up the whiskey, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be some decision I'm going to have to make. Like, I picked up the whiskey. Am I going to have to, like, try and prevent my... Yeah, is he going to, like, am I suddenly going to see the whiskey disappear as, like, the time goes on, you know? Is he, like, drinking? But no, none of that actually meant anything. And then when I went back to that same place where I picked up the whiskey later on... Yeah, I could just pick it up again. I could pick it up infinite number of times. It was just there was more whiskey. In that sense, this game's almost more of, like, a visual novel, but like a 3D visual novel. Like, it's mostly just like there's no interest in trying to make you explore beyond like a few kind of little Easter eggy type stuff. Like, mostly it's just you follow the plot. You walk around this forest, which like it's very linear. Like
It's
I don't.
insanely linear, but it does actually. The game kind of makes fun of you if you're too linear when you find the camp and you're reading like your profile. It'll judge you for if you just stay on the trails. I'm just like, oh
Yeah, like we should mention. So part of this game has like this Hitchcockian kind of tension in the middle of the game, like kind of like the second act, which I thought was the best part of this game, really. Where like the main character and Delilah find like they're being listened to, and they think that there's like some secret government types that are spying on them or whatever, and it turns into like a very convincing like I want to say like Hitchcockian thriller type tone. And that is one thing that dialogue changes is like when you go and find those documents and stuff in that one camp, like who they make like lists of stuff that you've said and all that jazz, which I guess that does, as the player, make you feel like you're saying stuff that's significant because you're like,
but it only really matters for this little thing that is a sort of red herring in the end.
Yeah, exactly. Like it turns out it's not, and that's part of the thing. That's funny because like, as I said, it's very tense in the middle, and part of the tension is like the characters are tense because they're being spied on, and they're worried that there's like some secret government plan to spy on them out there. And then I was tense because I was worried that the game was actually going to do that plot line.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to have to be like, oh, really? There's secret government secrets? Like, oh wow, amazing. But there isn't, which I was pleased with.
So, since you're doing spoilers, I think Delilah knew the whole time, or at least was like was aware of the gentleman.
You mean that he was out there? That I could believe, because like we should probably. This is all spoilery anyway, so whatever. But like in the end, the big bad turns out to be this like I don't know,
ex-Firewatcher,
yeah, who was out there with his kid a few years ago, and his kid died, and he kind of, on accident, by neglect, sort of, and then so he has to like he's living out there trying to stay under the radar of everyone, and he kind of just scrounges off of people and steals things from them and tries to scare them away from his cave. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's no way she didn't know about him being out there.
Yeah, so like part of the thing is like she's concerned because Delilah knew about him, and you're not supposed to have children with you when you're doing this job. So she feels like her big thing at the end is that she feels guilty for having not called the authorities.
Mm-hmm. And also she participated in a lie about it. So if the child was dead, she'd be guilty.
Well, she didn't. I mean, she lied that he was out there, not that he lied that she knew he was dead.
I don't know if she knew she was dead or not, but
no, I doubt that. But I mean, like I guess like the thing, I like this game, but I like the middle bit, the end,
was
the
good.
beginning. Yeah, like there's this. I just don't see what the
point,
like the growth for the character.
Well, sure,
exactly.
None.
This kind of just feels like a.
Yeah, I guess there is a little bit. I mean, I guess because your guy's out there because his wife or very serious girlfriend. I don't know.
I think they say wife.
Really engaged, maybe, or something. Gets dementia. Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not why he's out there. So, like, his wife gets dementia. He doesn't do a very good job taking care of her because he's drinking. And then she has to go live with her parents. And then he decides to become a fire watcher.
It's kind of
like... At least that's how the backstory goes.
Get his head straight.
But, like, I don't know that what this changes. I mean, I guess, like, you could say, like, Ned, the guy who is out there with his... like hiding the body of his dead son, like he has to like eventually
accept,
like exactly like Ned has to. This is what happens when you don't accept the mistakes you've made. You end up a crazy old hermit in the mountains, and like in that sense, like the main character whose name is Henry,
but
has to like
accept that his
Yeah, but I mean, his mistake was that
his wife got dementia.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I guess he was he didn't do a great job of it, but like most people don't.
I don't know if
That's
it's
kind of one of those
about
things that's hard to
necessarily
do.
the mistakes, but just accepting the reality of the situation. Because the guy Ned said that, he wasn't afraid to like tell people that his kid was dead, but he's more afraid of having to deal with like the funeral and all that stuff. And he didn't want to like accept that he was dead.
Yeah,
Just like your guy
that's true too.
By not taking care of his wife, he's not accepting responsibility of the situation and just kind of running away.
Right.
But I don't think Henry really learned that side of the story. It's a little.
It never felt like that. There was never like a point, especially because like when you find all this stuff out, it's like 11th hour.
You're literally running away. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think that the main character processes this at all. Like, because he's looking through all like you get to the guy's evidence dungeon and all the stuff is solved for you in this cave, and you're like, oh, he's behind everything.
And I grabbed all of it, just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get some special ending where I'm like, here's the evidence, guys.
Yeah, no, there's this. Early in the game, you get a disposable camera, and it's only got a limited number of charges.
I didn't even use it once.
And like, yeah, so like throughout the middle of the game, like the Henry and Hank think they're or Delilah and Henry or whatever think they're being spied on. Mm-hmm. So I'm like using the camera to take pictures of stuff, thinking like, okay, well, I'll need this for evidence later. So I'm taking pictures. But then like at the end of the game, then like when the credits roll, it shows you those pictures that you took next to the credits. So. And the first thing, like, I have like pictures of the dead body, like the corpse. I have pictures of like the underwear that's like hanging from a branch and stuff. And it makes this very grim tableau at the end as the credits are rolling, and then the last picture is like a selfie by the dead kid after I have his own skeleton in a previous photo in the montage, which was a bit of a weird thing.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the disposable camera as soon as I got it. Didn't use it once. Which, in a game where mechanics don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Like, I mean, it has this, like, I don't want to say Metroidvania aspect, because that's a overused term, but, like, the game likes to make you go through quests or missions or whatever, daily tasks, and at the end of that task or partway through the task you get like an object, which will let you explore more parts of the park. Of course, those parts of the park you only end up exploring when you're doing other missions, so there's no real reason they had to lock these behind other than to guide you
on the story path
areas at certain times. Yeah, and that was really the only like mechanic the game really has. When you have like some little not quick time events, but like press button to remove brush, press button to climb up ledge.
I hated the rappelling for some reason. I don't know why. Just couldn't stand it. I just felt like it just took too long.
It does take forever. Yeah.
And I also didn't realize until way too late in the game that you could run.
Yeah. Which is like the character moves at a pretty decent clip to begin with, and then you turn on the run, like the jog function, and he just sprints, which makes the map seem even smaller. I mean, that being said, like I went into this game kind of thinking it would be a lot chiller, a lot more just kind of like a nature walk.
Yeah, that's what it gives you
thing.
The vibes of day 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking so. I mean, even day 1 ends up being kind of tense, but I was thinking something more like Dear Esther or something like that, as far as like just being a chill game.
And then you just talk with somebody about your feelings over the radio.
Yeah, for a bit, and then it turns into like I don't know, Strangers on a Train or something like that. What some tense Hitchcock movie. I don't know. Like Skyrim to me was a better nature hike simulator than this game was. Like, not to disparage it, but like everything's like on a path. Like everything feels almost like.
Well, you are in a natural park that's like. Is it a real place? Like, or.
Yeah, sure. The national park's a real place.
So I mean, I'm sure it's got, hiking trails and stuff. I mean, I think they did a good job of like. I played it on low resolution, so. But I felt like they did a good job of actually like making it look like actual hiking trails, though.
Well, that's true, but I mean, like, there's no going off the beaten path rewards you with
nothing. Yeah.
walls.
Yeah.
Essentially, like there's just always like, oh, convenient massive stone preventing me from going this way, and you're always just in tunnels essentially.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like if you strip out the trees, it's not that different from like even like a shooter
Like a
multiplayer
corridor,
map
yeah.
in some ways. Yeah. And like I know this is also it's an 8-year-old game and time makes fools of us all, but like I found some pretty weird bugs. Like there's this one thing where you get a point, you get an axe that you can use to chop things down or like remove
Brush
obstacles. Yeah, and when I would press the chop down button on some of the trees, my character would like teleport. Well, not teleport. He would like float slowly backwards for like 20 to 30 feet. if I didn't like press the chop button at the exact right angle, otherwise I'd just start not teleporting, but like slowly floating backwards from where I was. I don't know what caused that.
Yeah. Huh.
And there was a couple instances where like I was supposed to be looking at something. It's like, oh, look over there, and then like the camera would move, and I'd be like inside the character's torso.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't have that. I would oftentimes just accidentally get on top of a rock that you're not supposed to be on top of, but then couldn't get off it because you're not supposed to move on there, so you're just stuck on this rock until you figure out how to wiggle out.
Yeah. So like I don't know, I guess to summarize or to like work towards a summary, like I like this game and like the writing is quite good in some spots, but like I don't know that I see the appeal that this has, like the lasting appeal that Firewatch has. Like my brother-in-law still has like a Firewatch like desktop background. I mean, granted, maybe he's had that for 10 years, but like it's definitely a game that resonates with a lot of people, and they still have a lot of fondness for it. But personally, like I'm like, I like it, but
I don't love it
like that. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, also maybe I would have had a different opinion about it if I played it 8 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, it was 8 years ago. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. I might have hated it. It might have been like I paid $20. Was probably more money back then, right?
I don't know.
No.
Indie games. $20 has been like a pretty regular price for indie games for a minute. So that could have also been part of why it had so much
appeal, was because it was
why so many
cheap.
people played it. If it was,
But I mean, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I feel ripped off that I paid $20 for a 3.5 hour game, but I kind of do. You know, it's been 8 years.
It's because it's not really a game. It's not. It's a movie.
Yeah,
kind of. Like it feels more like a movie than like no one wants to pay $20 for a movie ticket. Although I guess people do these days.
Do they fucking really? I haven't been to the movie theaters since I don't know. I couldn't tell you because
I haven't been to a movie theater since Obama was president. So yeah, I think that's my problem with it, is that it's just it's so linear, and it's so not problem with it. Like, the thing is, it's so linear, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of
agency, freedom,
that it just kind of felt like it just felt like a movie, and like I'm fine with that. But usually when
like
games
those,
are very linear,
what are those called? Not story time. They got the Batman ones.
Oh, like the Telltale games. Yeah.
Were those like out yet?
Well,
when this came out?
No, they definitely were out. At least the first ones, I think. And I think some of the people who worked on the Telltale's Walking Dead actually worked on this game. So
yeah, because I can see it being popular if this was kind of like new, like it was one of the first more like walking simulator story heavy games.
But like one thing I like about walking simulators is, like, at least like I mentioned, Dear Esther and Gone Home also to a certain extent, they are games that like you move around, you decide where you're going to go, you decide what you're going to look at, you decide what rooms you're going to go into. And Firewatch, despite the fact that you have this seemingly big open area, is very much like go to the lake, come back to the lake, go to the river, come back to the river. There isn't because you're constantly conversing with someone, like, and they're the one giving you orders. There isn't really much agency at all.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But then the game also does like judge you on that because it one of the things that comes up on the thing is like how successful you are to how influenceable you are. So I wonder
But like
if
at the
it's
same
like
time, like what am I supposed to do? Like just stand in my Firewatch house and
because there is that
pick up the
one
same book over and over
day
again?
where like she says like, "Let me know if you're ready for a job."
Yeah.
And obviously I was just like, I guess so. I'm not gonna like look around because I didn't know what kind of game it really was yet, So I was just like, oh, maybe what if you just didn't? Maybe that's the real way to play Firewatch. Get to day 3, just never call back, and you become the villain.
Yeah. There you go.
You gotta do another another playthrough.
You gotta finish the game. Move on with your life, player.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah, like and the other thing with like comparing it to Telltale games is like the Telltale games frequently the choices they matter but then they don't end up actually mattering. They kind of are like they're much better at pretending like those are narrative choices that matter. And they're also a lot longer.
Yeah.
Like not to like again harp on it, but like this is a little long for a movie, but it's basically a movie length. And like a Telltale game, there's like chapters. It's more like reading a book than watching a movie, I guess, if I was to compare it to something.
No, I can see that.
I mean, also like I think like the Ace Attorney games, which I play incessantly and I like a lot, they're essentially just novels too. Like I guess that's the thing. It's like if you're gonna make your game extremely linear and narrative focused, like you should aim for novels and not movies.
Yeah,
I guess.
Can see that. Interactive novels.
Yeah.
Oh, remember those Choose Your Own Adventures?
Oh yeah.
Those were good.
Yeah, I mean that's the first interactive fiction, I guess.
Best video game I ever played.
Yeah, I only played the Goosebumps ones. Actually, I had these ones that I forgot what they were called, but like they were like choose your own adventures, but like you also rolled dice and had like stats and stuff. It was like
I had like one or two of those. Yeah, those were cool. I guess.
Yeah, it's like D&D for people who don't have friends.
I have Googled one-person board games before.
They exist, man.
So, Firewatch.
So,
way game.
Yeah.
Way lame. I'm gonna say
way game.
I'm gonna say way tame.
Way tame.
And why way game though? I mean, it was beautiful.
Well, I guess it's like how influential it was. Like, there's so much about this game that like I see in other games. And even like this art style where I'm kind of like, yeah, this is a fine art style. Like it's kind of interesting, kind of quaint and cartoony. But at the same time, like I think a lot, like the reason why I'm mid about it is because it's used a lot after this. Like,
so they were like the first people to use that kind of, I don't know, it's almost like the current Pixar look.
Yeah, exactly. It's like modern Pixar. I kind of think of it as like Team Fortress Light.
Yeah.
But like it's certainly I guess I'm saying way game in the sense it's like way gaming history as opposed to way game I want to play again.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah. If it's as important as you say, to me I just didn't really know that it was not the first one to do it, but the first one to do it like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair assessment too. Like just because something's influential doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah. Like the band Prodigy. Of that song, Firewatch. Firestarter. I messed up. I didn't actually play this game. I just listened to Firestarter for like 4 hours straight.
Oh, actually, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, that would.
You put out some Wipeout or something.
No, nothing. Just sitting outside, headphones on, CD player. So every time the song ends, you go back.
Yeah, that'd be a fun time.
No, Arvid. It would not be a fun time to listen to. When was the last time you heard that song?
I don't know, like a few weeks ago. I like that song. I like that album. It's a
I
good album.
You do. That guy's passed away,
Fat
right?
of the Land. Yeah, he died last year.
Is that why we're doing this? This is a memoriam episode.
It's called Firestarter, not Firewatch.
I know.
I bet James Taylor has a song called Firewatch.
I bet you there's just like a plethora of songs called Firewatch.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, they did license a song for the end credits.
Oh, really?
Like, I was kind of thinking it was like, oh, they're doing like a really good, like old school blues number here, and it's like, oh no, this is just an Etta James licensed song that they used for the credits. You don't see that very often in video games, probably because it's expensive. Unless they're like doing like a Grand Theft Auto Radio or something like that. But yeah, should we just move on to whatever we got next?
Yeah,
I guess I got some tidbits of news.
Do you want to do a quick coffee break?
Yeah, we can do a coffee break. All right.
So this one time when I was like 7, I went with my mom to go, I guess, get some car work done, but I didn't know that that's what was going on. And, when you're a little kid, you don't know what a long time means. It was like something like, I think like 3 hours maybe 2 hours. I don't know, it was long enough for me to watch like the sun go down. But the only thing I brought with me was a CD player and Chumbawamba's Tubthumping. But the only song I liked was Tubthumping. So I just sat for 2.5 to 3 hours and just listened to Tubthumping over and over again. I don't know if I've ever recovered.
You gotta tell your therapist that, man. Explain so much
they'll
about you.
like lock me up. They'll commit me. I don't. Yeah, sometimes it's like I block that memory, and like sometimes it comes back.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think that's like a defense mechanism. Because otherwise you're just...
Yeah.
Like, that song is an earworm for me, and I haven't heard that song in like a year, 2 years. Like, I got that song in my head now just because you mentioned it.
No, it's like I'll forget that memory, but then I'll hear the song, and then it comes back,
in the quickie
and
loop,
I just like I throw
staring
up
out the window.
Maybe that's my Vanilla Sky thing. I gotta listen to
I still haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it? Oh, then I can't say anything because it'll kind of ruin it. Because it's kind of a good twist. I know you probably hate Tom Cruise.
Does the sky actually chocolate the whole time?
No, it's actually vanilla the whole time.
No,
it's... I don't know. I don't want to ruin a movie for you because...
No, that's fine. I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah.
You on Letterboxd yet?
No, I'm not. I'm just going to...
I keep making all these fun jokes and no one's laughing.
I'm going to just get on there and just make you... I'm going to link you to every Tom Cruise movie I find.
Do it. I've seen at least 2 of them.
Yeah? I watched, what was it, Magnolia just the other day. That's a good one.
I watched The Mummy. The new Mummy.
Yeah.
It's actually not terrible. Oh, it's bad. I mean, it's a bad movie, but like...
And also, this isn't the first time you've seen it. You've seen it multiple times.
Yeah. No, I've seen it twice. Just twice.
So you're willing to admit to.
But there's a bit where Russell Crowe is like...
Dr. Jekyll.
Dr. Jekyll. Yeah, exactly. He just like... just goes fucking hog wild in this office, and you're like literally afraid that Russell Crowe's gonna start eating furniture. Like, you're not worried about the character's gonna start. You're like Russell Crowe himself is eating wood, and like they're gonna have to take him to the emergency room.
Yeah, Russell Crowe does. He's probably the best part of that movie.
Yeah, by far.
And I'm kind of upset because they definitely were setting it up for the second one.
I mean, that would have saved the franchise if they had just done like the Russell
Crowe backstory,
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with Russell Crowe. That would have been.
Yeah, I don't get the whole trying to tie the Mummy into whatever universe the Mummy.
Well, because they were trying to take like the Mummy and like the Frankenstein and Dracula, and then like turn it into like the Marvel version of that.
Oh,
basically, turn Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Tom Cruise did pure back end on that movie because he was like convinced. They're like, oh, we're gonna rival Marvel with this. He's just like, I bet he hates it so much.
I bet. Well, doesn't he famously like also he can't insure himself because he's so keen on always doing his own stunts that like no one will insure
Well, he
him
has
anymore?
to be the one to put up the money, I think, kind of thing. Like, no studio will be like, do it. Because, like, oh, got to pay $10 million to insure him because he wants to stand on a plane while it explodes. I wonder if, like,
he just
one day, like,
he wants to die. Like he just wants to go to that
Well,
great alien planet in the sky, but they won't let him.
I wonder if, like, one day, like, Jackie Chan, like, made, like, a snide comment at it, like a young Tom Cruise, and he's just like, you know what? Me too then, buddy. When I'm going to get more famous for doing all my own stunts.
Yeah. It's ironic because in Cocktail he had to have a stunt guy do everything for him. I was terrified he'd like flip that bottle and it would land on his head.
Maybe that's what it was. Like, Cocktail came out, then the news came out that he had to use a stunt double. He's just like, too much pressure, you know. I got to figure out how to, like, live an honest life.
Mm-hmm. In Risky Business, when he slid across the floor into underwear, that was actually a young Michael J. Fox.
I heard it was Tilda Swinton.
I don't know. I think Tilda Swinton's too tall.
Yeah, probably. I can't remember. I saw some movie. Oh, it's Vanilla Sky, where they have him. At one point, he's kind of gets arrested, and there's like, you know, the whole like lineup thing, and like, I'm sorry, Tom Cruise, you're not 6 foot. You don't do that. You're lying to yourself.
Yeah, what Minority Report thought crime is it to constantly think you're half a foot taller than you actually are? That was a good one. I like Minority Report.
Yeah. I mean, good source material. I don't know. It's like, I guess it was like an old person moment that I had where I was at work and I was like putting on a movie, and like I hovered over Minority Report, and this kid was like, well, "I've never seen that one." I was like, "Oh, it's Philip K. Dick." And he's like, "No, that's Tom Cruise." I was like, "Oh no, like the guy who wrote the story." He's like, "Oh, the director." I was like, "No, like this guy died in like the '90s. He's like wrote a bunch of really good sci-fi." And I started naming off. I was like, Blade Runner. I did the Bubblegum. It was just like, but everything. He's like, never seen it. I was just like, oh.
You ever seen Total Recall?
You saw the fucking new one. It's Colin Farrell.
What?
Yeah,
That's terrible.
I think I did put that movie on at work though, but I don't think anyone watched it. They're like, "Oh, Arnold."
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. The best thing I ever did
Put in a good
was
way.
I put on Stalker once, and just people got visibly upset.
That's like when was it you? Like when we'd have parties back in college, you just put on Clockwork Orange in the background. Or was that Jimmy?
That sounds like a Jimmy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a while, but I wonder if it's like holds up to the hype of being like an angsty young adult teenager.
I mean, I don't like when I rewatched it like 4 or 5 years ago, and to me it just feels very like Stanley Kubrick is Afraid of Young People, the movie.
Yeah.
Like he's like it's like London in the 60s, and he's just like extrapolating all of his fears of like mod culture and stuff, and it turned into this, you know, like it would be horribly racist if everyone wasn't white.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just imagine being afraid of the Who.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so quaint, you know, like quadrophenia, everyone's killing each other, but you're just like, oh, they got little scooters and they wear ties.
Yeah, and they got those cute little oversized coats.
Yeah. It's hard to feel threatened by that.
I wonder how inspired Purple Rain was by quadrophenia.
In that there's a motorcycle on the cover?
and music is the passion.
Yeah, I guess those are the two overlaps, right?
Yeah.
Sting is in one of them, but not the other. I guess they both do have abusive fathers. That's also
It was just like a thing that
there.
happened in like the 70s.
Human history, yeah. Okay, so back to the podcast.
Oh, well.
Do you have any news? I don't have anything. I mean, I guess there's that Nintendo announcement. They're doing the first Zelda game starring Zelda. It's coming out on the Switch.
Oh,
that's cool.
I thought it'll be. You think they're going to do the same formula, or they're going to do something different?
I mean, it looks to me like they're basically kind of taking the engine they did the remake of Link's Awakening in.
Oh, they're doing like a retro
they're just
style.
doing, yeah, like Zelda's Awakening, which I'm fine with. I love Link's Awakening, so that happened. The new characters for Disney Dreamlight Valley have been announced.
Oh, okay.
It's coming out tomorrow.
Is it Sweeney
Mulan and Mushu.
Oh, I like Mushu.
I'm presuming they didn't get Eddie Murphy to do the voice.
I don't know. When was the last time you saw him in anything?
Well, that's true. And they actually did get John Goodman for Sully.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah. I don't think they actually got Billy Crystal, though.
No, because I feel like Billy Crystal's there's a surprising amount of voice work.
Yeah, but I think like John Goodman just has like a recording booth in his like Louisiana mansion, so he just does it when people call him up.
I got a fart machine recently.
A fart machine?
Yeah, it's like a little remote control operated thing, and when you press it, it does one of maybe 9 different fart sounds.
Did you get this from like a old timey gag shop? Was there like a wandering whimsical man with like a bright red suitcase who was selling like rubber chickens?
You could say that, yeah. That's more exciting than just saying like we ordered off the internet. I mean,
so you thought what I need is a device that makes fart sounds.
What I thought was
let me purchase
what
one
my
off
job
of Amazon.
needs is a device that makes fart sounds, and I found there are 3 reactions to the fart machine.
Okay.
There's the obvious first one, people are like, you know, people love it.
Yeah.
And there's people who are like, ah. And there's people, it's honestly my favorite one, just don't acknowledge it. They just don't acknowledge it. It's just like, I know.
I think that's the most deranged option.
It is. Like, I have eye contacted someone, and like they didn't figure out for a long time like what was happening, where it was coming from, or who was doing it. I would like eye contact someone, and it'd just be like a real juicy one, and then they'd just like look right through me, like try to act like it's not real.
So we've been playing this week.
I have not been really playing anything other than this game and Cookie Clicker, and I'm still. I don't remember what I was at.
You've got a problem.
No, I'm so close to 150 on my Fractal Engines, and I know that's an achievement. I'm at 148. It's going to be like another month, I think, until I get enough. But maybe I'll get a nice little letter from the people who made it. Congratulations. Maybe I'm the first one who's ever done that.
No, man, there have been people who've been playing this since 2013. You are like way behind many, many people.
I got a lot of waiting to do.
Apparently.
Yeah, because like even like clicking it at this point is like it's futile. Even like the special golden cookies are like just drops in the bucket, if that.
Futile sounds like an interesting word to use.
Resistance is futile.
Does it mean in general, like maybe the whole enterprise is futile?
The video gaming?
No, I just meant that, but also I meant specifically Cookie Clicker, a game that affords you nothing in reward for playing.
How do you know? Have you beaten it?
I haven't beaten it. No.
Yeah, you don't even know about the grandmas.
I know about the grandmas.
You don't know about the demonic grandmas.
I know about demonic grandmas.
What? Have you been to hell yet?
I haven't been to hell yet. No.
Don't talk to me about Cookie Clicker then. Just because you got me onto this doesn't mean I haven't surpassed you.
Yeah, no, I regret it.
Me too.
So
what have you been playing?
I dipped my hand into this Elden Ring game. Maybe you've heard of it?
I'm not. Please explain.
Yeah. I have a lot of thoughts. About it. But I kind of want to save it for an ep when we got Mike on because...
Yeah, he's definitely... Because the new DLC thing just came out.
Yeah, the new DLC came out this week, so everyone's talking about it. I don't know.
From what I understand, for the first time in like 4 years, the Witcher DLC has been surpassed as the most popular DLC for this new one, right?
That doesn't surprise me. I've heard some unfriendly comments about it.
Oh,
Mostly, but that's due to the. So I think some graphics cards have some stuttering problems with the new patch that came with the expansion.
mm-hmm.
So that'll inevitably lead to some grumpy folks on Steam. But I haven't played any of the DLC.
Oh, so you could start in base.
Oh yes, very very base. I have not played a ton of it. I have to take breaks, and those breaks are very frequent. Yeah. So so when I'm not playing Elden Ring, which is most of the time, I've been playing my antidote to Elden Ring, which is Lego
Starlight?
Star Wars.
Oh.
Huh?
I was going to say your Disney Starlight Valley.
Yeah, I mean that's next on the list for when Lego Star Wars pisses me off too much.
You're pissed me off.
But
Which one are you playing?
it's the bit like the most recent one, the one that's like all the games in one big.
Oh, the Jibble
thing.
Back. Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, Lego Star Wars, I mean, just any Lego game for the most part, they normally drop a quality product.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to mention, is that this one's actually been the buggiest Lego game I've ever played. Just a lot of weird, like, invisible walls and, like, characters bouncing off of nothing or just spazzing out or, like, the camera getting stuck in something. Yeah, I don't have that much to say, I don't think. Short game this week.
It was a very short
week.
game. I'm sorry, I'm like...
If I was smart, I would have thought up a quiz to have this week, but
no, you know
I
what?
didn't really think of that. I was also up really late watching the hockey game.
Yeah,
Well, Edmonton almost managed the reverse sweep, but then Florida won, which is good. I mean, like I feel weird about Miami having hockey, but they did.
Because it's
it's
hot.
their first Stanley Cup, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, just the idea. Like, can you imagine playing hockey in Miami in June?
I mean, what about? I mean, Arizona has a fucking hockey team.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
It got moved to Utah.
Oh, I knew that.
That just happened a few months ago.
Arizona did have a hockey team. That's a dry heat. California.
Yeah,
I guess California's not bad.
Oh, that's true.
Virginia.
California's got like 3 teams.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Washington. The Caps play in D.C., so that's close enough, I guess. They did threaten to move to Arlington a while back.
Oh, yeah?
They didn't.
So they threatened to move down the street. Like,
well,
so
yeah, but
be
then
officially
I
be in
guess, like,
Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, it's actually like really like it's a good spot. Like, it's near public transit and all that jazz, and in the happening neighborhood, and no one wants to have a fucking empty ass
arena
in the middle of their city.
No, you can't really. Are hockey arenas multi-purpose like other arenas are?
Depends. Some of them are. I mean, like if you talk about like having like concerts, then almost all of them do. But like some of them also do basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think, like the one in L.A. does. Like it used to be called the Staples Center. Now it's called like Crypto.com Arena or some shit.
Oh dang! Cryptocurrency bought it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like that's the thing about hockey is like a third-rate sport in America because like all the arena namings are like lame at like local casinos and like Crypto.com. Like I think for a while there one of them was called like Indeed.com Arena or something like that.
Where's Indeed getting money from?
I have no fucking clue. I mean, I'm assuming the naming rights to a second-tier hockey team is probably pretty cheap.
You think that, but
how much are the naming rights to a hockey stadium?
I mean, it's only $4 to $4.5 million annually.
I mean, that's not that expensive.
Okay, Arvid.
No, I mean, considering that like that's paying for like your 5th best player, like not even your 5th best defenseman or something like that. That is not a lot of money for like a hockey team.
No, but
like you're making more off concessions probably.
Well, no, all you're doing is getting naming rights. You don't own the building.
No, but I'm saying like for the team, they're only getting $4 million to be called, Bingus.com or whatever arena.
Yeah.
But I mean, $4 million. I mean, that's not impossible to scrape up. I mean, if you think about like, that's not like, I mean, it's a lot of money, obviously, but at the same time, like Joe's Garage, hey, advertising at Joe's Garage. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it'd just be funny if it's just like, the local muffler shop gets the naming rights to their
remember
arena.
that mafia themed one we had around here? Look at that mafia theme, like.
Oh yeah, the muffler shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I always thought it was a pizza place, but
no, it's a chop shop. It's just operating out in the open. Yeah, I haven't seen that sign in a while.
Yeah, well, probably in witness protection now.
Like you're the dumbest guy we've ever had.
Like Sal's muffler or whatever. All right, we should probably go before these dogs tear me asunder.
I got you.
Just this one. Yeah, so thanks for listening to the podcast. Bit of a weird one this week. Things have been weird. Mike wasn't on this app because apparently there is like
biblical flood.
A massive, there's like flooding and tornadoes and shit in his neck of the woods, and he wasn't able to get the generator started to record our podcast. Not that he should, but he's not here, and that also means that we still haven't gotten around to doing the Patreon app. So that is still coming. Maybe we'll have to do 2 in 1 month or something to make up for that. But just kind of Mike's having a rough time right now. So hopefully we'll get that out soon. In the meantime, if you like this podcast, you could comment, subscribe, share, print it out and email it to your favorite great grandfather, all that jazz. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Safe State Podcast. I think it's the Safe State Podcast.
How do you not know?
The email address is the Safe State Podcast @gmail.com. That's definitely true. Yeah, no, it's the patreon.com/.
You should also check out Arvid's webcomic, The Safe State.
Don't do that. You're not affiliated with any web comics called The Safe State.
That?
Yes. Although I wish them nothing but good luck in their ventures. Yeah, so that's that. It's so hot here. Like my brain is just melting right now.
I've already surpassed you.
Yeah, but you have air conditioning.
No. You have to or you die.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Well, buy some.
I ordered one. It won't arrive for 3 days.
Get a fan. You want box fans?
I have a fan, but I have to go to the basement and get it.
That sounds...
Doesn't matter.
No.
Say goodbye, Marcus.
I've been Marcus.
And I've been Arvid. Thanks for listening to the podcast. This game could have been a podcast.
Yeah. Because it's just two people talking?
Yeah. I mean, as much as the visuals are pretty, this game could have just been like a podcast, and you would have gotten like all the information, because Hank has to explain all the information to Delilah as he finds it. So like you could totally play this without ever seeing anything.
Oh yeah, just dialogue options. This one's more interesting.
Yeah, in a way.
We play the brain video.
The brain video?
Imagination.
No.